In a futuristic world, robotic science has advanced significantly. Mankind creates an artificial life form known as a surrogate. Surrogates are realistic-looking robots that are connected to people's brains. They are connected to the brains via a device with over 100 sensors. When a human sits in a chair-like device, the sensors connect to various parts of the human brain. This process causes the surrogate to do whatever the human thinks of. Officials define it as controlling your second body with your brain. Lionel Cantor invented the surrogate to help disabled people live normal lives. However, only 3 years later, it begins to be used in wartime to strengthen the military. As more devices are manufactured, their prices fall low enough for the general public to afford. This event alters the course of human life. People begin to use their surrogates to leave their homes. Furthermore, you can have any look you want without having to undergo plastic surgery or exercise. Only 7 years after the invention, the largest surrogate company, VSI, released a statement claiming that 98% of the world's population now uses surrogates in various aspects of their lives. Humans live in almost total isolation, rarely leaving the comfort of their homes. However, not everyone likes this technology. There is a minority of people who believe that humans are not meant to live in machines. They have established surrogacy-free zones across the United States and are led by a man known as the Prophet. It is now 14 years since the invention of surrogates. A young man is on his way to the club. He lies to his father over the phone, claiming that he is about to go see an opera. At the club, he jumps from a balcony and lands safely, implying that the guy is a surrogate. He meets a girl while dancing and invites her out. As the two make out, a man on a motorcycle uses a device to kill them. When paramedics and police arrive, they discover that the guy's surrogate's memory chip is completely fried, and they are unable to locate his registered owner. The girl's surrogate, however, is registered under the name Cameron McAllister. Two FBI agents, Tom Greer and Jennifer Peters, find Cameron's address and pay her a visit. However, when they arrive at the house, they discover that Cameron is a middle-aged man who was killed while sitting on his surrogate linking device. This is the first murder in years, so the detectives are taken aback. The scene transitions to a running subway. Tom is returning home from work, and we notice that everyone around him is a surrogate. When he gets home, he brings water for the real him, who appears very different. The real Tom has been living his life through his handsome and young-looking surrogate. After transferring the surrogate to a station, Tom exits his room to meet his wife Maggie, but is greeted by Maggie's surrogate. Tom hasn't seen his wife in a long time and only speaks with her surrogate. Tom suggests they go on a vacation, but Maggie prefers to send her surrogate on vacation and live through her. Some teenagers find their friend Gerard Cantor dead in his dorm room, still sitting in his stim chair. The detectives at the FBI office are discussing the case. They believe that the same device used to kill the surrogates also killed their owners. Until then, such a situation was thought to be impossible because owners are not supposed to feel the same emotions as surrogates. They discover that Gerard is the son of Dr. Lionel Cantor, the inventor of surrogacy. Tom and Jennifer schedule an appointment with Dr. Cantor and proceed to meet his surrogate. They discover that Cantor has been using multiple surrogates at once, which is considered illegal. However, because he is the inventor, the detectives disregard it. Gerard was using one of Cantor's surrogates when he was killed. This leads the detectives to believe that the killer was after Cantor, not Gerard. They then go to the largest surrogate manufacturing company, VSI headquarters, to investigate, but the CEO dismisses them, claiming that the surrogates are completely safe for their owners. They discover the identity of the man who killed Gerard, thanks to the camera footage embedded in his surrogate at the time of his death. They approach a colleague named Bobby Saunders, who is an administrator for the FBI computer system. He believes Gerard's killer's name is Miles Strickland. Bobby has access to every surrogate in the United States and can turn them off at any time. After locating Miles, Tom and a colleague pursue him in a helicopter. However, as they are about to apprehend him, Miles flashes all of the detectives with the weapon, killing both the surrogates and the operator. He also harms the real Tom and murders his friend. Their helicopter crashes in a restricted area filled with anti-surrogates. The anti-surrogates kill Tom's surrogate before he can track down the killer. The weapon injures the real Tom. He walks out of his room and becomes unconscious. Miles then meets the Prophet, the leader of the anti-surrogates, who asks him what he told Tom. Miles insists that he did not reveal any information, but the prophet kills him regardless. Tom awakens in the hospital where he learns he has been suspended for a week for landing in a restricted area. However, he is determined to solve the case and goes outside without the surrogate for the first time in years. He then returns to the restricted area to meet Miles again, but discovers his body being cremated. Tom questions the prophet about the weapon Miles used earlier, but he claims he has never seen one. The prophet's men realize he's a cop and beat him. Tom leaves the restricted area after a young man offers him a ride home. It turns out the man is Cantor's surrogate. He questions Tom about Gerard's murder case. Cantor advises Tom to concentrate on the weapon and where it came from. When an injured Tom returns home, he finds Maggie and her young friends hanging out in the living room. Maggie feels nervous when she sees him, but he does not confront her. Later, Tom sees her talking to a man and beats him, but the man is a surrogate, so he doesn't mind. In the following scene, a man breaks into Jennifer's home and murders her. He then takes control of her surrogate. The next day, Tom goes to the military general and inquires about the weapon. The general informs him that the weapon is known as an overload device. It was designed as a war weapon, infecting the surrogates with a software virus. However, officials were unaware that the virus would also kill the operators. After they figured it out, they stopped manufacturing the weapon. VSI manufactured the weapon, and they destroyed every unit. However, this particular weapon was left out. Tom informs them that the weapon is located in a restricted area. The prophet then hands the weapon to his men, who deliver it to Jennifer's surrogate. Tom then visits Maggie at work and asks if she misses their son. The two had lost their son in a car accident, and Maggie had not recovered since. We get a glimpse of her true self, who is old and wrinkled, the complete opposite of her surrogate. She and Tom are still grieving the death of their child. Somewhere else, the military attacks the prophet and his men in order to reclaim the weapon. However, when they shoot the prophet, the anti-surrogate leader, they discover that he too is a surrogate. The scene shifts to Dr. Cantor on his computer, monitoring the person in front of the prophet. We learn that Cantor was the one posing as the prophet to prevent the use of his own invention. Tom meets Jennifer's surrogate, who is now controlled by Cantor. She informs Tom that Cantor's son was killed by VSI and their boss, Andy Stone. They realize Cantor was attempting to prohibit the use of surrogates, which would result in a significant loss for VSI. As a result, they, along with Stone, intended to kill Cantor with the weapon. They killed his son by mistake. Carter could not bear the thought of his son dying, so he made it his mission to kill everyone using surrogates. To make the weapon work, he must have both it and a code. She informs Tom that Stone was involved in Gerard's murder and requests that he bring Stone's computer file to her as evidence. Tom goes to see Stone and knocks him out. He then downloads everything from Stone's computer and rushes away. Jennifer now has the weapon and the code, and she must go to Bobby to spread the virus to every surrogate in the world using the weapon. Tom realizes Jennifer's surrogate has been taken over, but then they have an accident. Jennifer rushes to Bobby while Tom heads to the source of the problem, Cantor. Jennifer holds Bobby at gunpoint and injects the virus into his system. Everyone who uses a surrogate will die within a few minutes. Just then, Tom arrives at Cantor's mansion and asks him why he is doing all this. Cantor responds that he created surrogates to help disabled people, not for everyone to rely on them. Now that his son has died, he does not want his death to be in vain and wishes to put an end to the surrogate addiction. After explaining his reasoning, Cantor takes a pill and commits suicide. Tom takes over as Jennifer's surrogate and asks Bobby how he can prevent the virus from spreading. Bobby quickly tells him the codes, and the two successfully rescue the surrogate's operator. Tom now needs to click yes to save all of the surrogates. He hesitates as Bobby informs him that they have only a few seconds left. He eventually presses no, disabling all surrogates in the world. We see hundreds of surrogates stop working on the street. Soon their owners will leave their homes for the first time in years. Tom rushes back home to find that the real Maggie is not in her room. He finds her in their son's bedroom, and the film ends with the two hugging. All right, that's a wrap for today. If you enjoyed the video, hit like, it really helps the channel. Leave a comment with your thoughts and don't forget to subscribe and turn on notifications so you never miss an update. Thanks for watching and see you next time.